Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to GCC's Georgia Chiro Connection. I'm your host, Dr. Kathy, and today, joining us from Connecticut, we've got Dr. Tracy Malton. Hey, Doc, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you. And thank you. Before we go live, I got to tell everybody that I just got to see a tour of her beautiful office, and it is phenomenal. So I want to jump in and I want to talk to you about that because you've chosen an unconventional space for a chiropractic office. So let's talk a little bit about your space because I think that in and of itself is a great story.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So we bought this old bank building that had been sitting vacant for a couple of years, and we turned it into actually a health center. So in addition to having chiropractic in my space, the rest of the building, we have several other health practitioners just to help people be as healthy as they can, because you know that chiropractic is what everybody needs, but it's just one piece of the puzzle that everybody also can utilize to be as healthy as they possibly can. So we renovated this building. We had to change the regulations of the whole entire downtown because they wanted me to be on the second floor. And as you can see, there is no second floor in this area. And we just made this beautiful space. We brought back the old history of the building, and I get to work under this beautiful chandelier every day, which is awesome.
I love it. It's such a beautiful space. And it's one of the things that we talk about often. And especially, I teach a class at Life University, and I talk to the students often about the idea of putting your roots down and being able to, at some point in your career, build or purchase your own real estate, your own building, so that you are a fixture in the community. And by taking an old building that I'm sure people in the community loved, but if it had been sitting empty, it might have become an eyesore, and turning it into a place of wellness and health and healing, I'm sure your community absolutely loves it.
Oh, it's been awesome. This building has actually been a bank since 1890. And so we tried to honor the history and the roots of the building. So we named the building the Health Bank. Which is kind of fun. And Healing Hands Chiropractic is inside of the Health Bank. And people know, oh, you're at the Health Bank. You're at the Health Bank. Oh, you're Healing Hands. I know where you guys are, because we are a historical monument. It was the first bank actually ever in the town of Wallingford. So it has roots beyond the ones that we just put into.
Yes, I love that. And I think that's great because now your community knows not only where you are, but that helps them attach to who you are. You are the kind of person that says we're here for the long haul.
Definitely. We even put a small commercial, which was a little outside my comfort zone to do a commercial, but we did put a small commercial at the local Cinemaplex. And so it's actually hysterical because people will come in and, they'll go to watch, Sleeping Beauty or some movie, and all of a sudden all the kids are jumping up and yelling, "Yes, my chiropractor." And a lot of people come in not knowing that chiropractors actually see kids, that they never would have thought that was an issue, part of what chiropractic is, just because of that little 30-second blurb that we have at the movie theater.
That is fantastic. So I'm sure people watching are thinking right now, I thought those commercials were only for like Coca-Cola or, the big Fortune 500 companies. So tell us how you got involved and figured out a way to do that was not only affordable for you, but obviously very successful for you.
It was great. We actually did it right prior to COVID, and then we stopped it during COVID because everything kind of shut down and people weren't going. It really wasn't. It's very affordable. It really is. And the first commercial was, a little more than us with an iPhone putting it together. And since then, actually, one of my patients has a drone, so he came into the space and droned it. And so we actually have patients on the table as they're getting adjusted, and who's flying the little drone around the office. And it was a lot of fun, and people like it. And I've got patients that are being stopped on the street that were in the video that were like, "Oh, I saw you on the big screen." So it really is getting out to our community, and it was really easy to do too.
Good. Now, in the video, are you actually showing kids in the office, and that's what's helping people? That's terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a whole section that is a little kids area. So we've got it's a little giraffe table that the kids are on. So we had kids over there playing in the kids area. On a couple of the other tables, I had some of my parents getting adjusted. We did some mock adjustments where, you know, the baby was on mom's chest as I was checking her. And it's a lot of fun. The kids love our kids area. I have to say, you should have a kids area in your office if you want to see kids. Parents say that they have a hard time leaving the office because the kids don't want to leave.
So true. And it's one of those things that sometimes people don't think about when they're laying out an office, especially if they're younger or newer in practice, or if they don't have kids. But
Yeah.
it's one of the things that tells your community this is a place for families.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I love that. And I love that you're getting the opportunity to show people, not in a crunchy TikTok, you know, kind of video, but
No.
in a really positive light, in a great space. You know, if they're at the movie theaters, they know they're going to see some kind of ad before the movie, but to see chiropractic in such a great light before a movie, you're planting those seeds.
Exactly. And that's it. We just need to tell the story everywhere you go. You need to let them know what chiropractic is and what chiropractic isn't. Because like you said, the TikTok stuff is just throwing out the crunch, crack, you know, the Y strap, you know,
Yes.
the louder, the better. And it's like, it's skeevy. So
It is.
it's nice
And
to put up.
for the first time about a month ago, I had a patient come in and ask if I had the Y strap, and then somebody else comes in the next day and asks if we do the Y strap. And my answer to both of them was, this is my Y strap. We don't need one of those. We do everything very specifically. We, you know, like jokingly, like, we don't need a Y strap. We use our hands to do a very specific scientific corrective adjustment and use it as an opportunity to educate people. And
Exactly.
that's really what this is all about, is it's educating people on a greater level of health and how they can achieve that for themselves and their family.
100%. 100%.
So I love that you're getting to educate people about why chiropractors take care of children because of your ads in the movie theaters. And tell us a little bit about how that plays out in your office.
Oh, we're always talking subluxation. You know, so my patients know what a subluxation is. And I'm surprised by how many times I get patients coming from other offices that they moved to the area or just, you know, kicking our tires to see who we are, that have never heard the word. And I've even had some people, I had one woman who came in, I haven't seen a chiropractor for 19 years. He's great. It was wonderful. And I adjusted her and she about jumped off the table because she had never been adjusted. They just did stem on her and she thought it was an adjustment. Right. So now I'm very, very clear and I don't know the word I'm looking for, but when somebody comes in and they've seen another chiropractor, how did they adjust you? What did they do so that I don't scare somebody? Because honestly, she was a little scared, a little frightened because it was a real adjustment. And so now we walk people through what to expect. And that was a learning lesson for me that I didn't know that I needed.
That's why they call it a practice, right?
Exactly.
One of the things I do with new patients is, especially if they say they've been to a chiropractor before, I always say to them, okay, I'm going to talk you through the entire adjustment just in case I do things a little bit differently than what you're used to, for that very reason, because oftentimes we would have people who had seen someone who either doesn't adjust or did all the soft tissue work or did all the therapies or did a technique where they, you know, don't adjust the spine. So that realization hit home for me. And it was that reminder that just because somebody says they've had meat and potatoes before does not mean they've eaten at Ruth Chris, right? They might've eaten at McDonald's before, and you have to help them understand the difference between a steakhouse and right. So with our patients, if we could just remember that they don't know what we do because we do it every single day. We take it for granted. We just got to help them come to a better understanding.
100%, 100%. And we do try to educate all the way through, you know, sometimes we'll have a word of the day, we'll put it on the whiteboard. And so people will be like, oh, why does it say vomit on your whiteboard? And then we explain, well, when you see vomit, does that mean you're healthy or are you sick? And people are like, well, you're sick. Well, are you? If you don't vomit and you had poison in your body, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And it definitely makes them think about what's going on and what their body's doing. So it's kind of fun, little things like that to educate throughout, in addition to those first 3 visits, which a lot of people do the first 3 and then they stop talking about that. And it's just the weather or
right. Yeah. How you been since the last time I seen you? How are the kids? How are the sport events? Right. And it's so much better to have educational information to share. Tracy, I will tell you this. Years ago, I did a video series where we did 52 weeks of videos. We recorded them, and then I kind of put them in a spreadsheet form, and I gave them out to some of the docs that I coach and mentor so that they could record those videos for their office. We recently just came across that again, and as I'm going through rebranding, we said, okay, we're going to start doing these videos. But you and I, this conversation right now, I've got 3 topics that you just gave me that quickly, right?
Yay.
Conversation, right? What is an adjustment? Vomit, healthy or sick. And for the docs listening, you could do simple videos or simple ideas on your whiteboard or something at your sign-in where you're just putting out a word or a phrase that you can educate your patients with all day or all week long.
Yes. I actually had another doctor. They had a picture on the board, and it was what's wrong with this picture. And it was the one that they did was a kid with a inhaler. And so the patients coming in, well, why should they need an inhaler? And then they related it back to chiropractic and how it may help them. And the patients that had the best answer, they gave away a water bottle or a t-shirt or something like that. And I thought that was a great idea. So I'm actually thinking about doing something like that myself. That was just given to me this last week.
I love it. And you know what? Anytime we get an idea that we can communicate to our community to help them understand what we do, the better. And the more diverse the communication methods are, sometimes it's got to be a visual, sometimes it's got to be auditory, sometimes it's got to be kinesthetic. But the more diverse they are, the more people you can actually connect with. Because when you're talking about babies to someone who's not interested in kids, they could just shut down and not even listen to you. But if you then have a conversation about bending over a car while you're working on it, they might perk up their ears.
Exactly. I 100% agree. So you have to have those little educational tidbits. It's kind of smattering throughout the office so people can pick it up on it and listen to it. And like you said, take it from where they are, and you can bring them from point A to Z, but not with a fire hose.
Right, because that is something that we've all done. Guilty, right? Guilty. We've all done that before. So Tracy, in the time that we have left, do you have a patient story or a testimonial or some kind of miracle story that you want to share with us that kind of inspire our docs as they're going back into their office for the afternoon?
I do. Actually, it's one of my favorite stories. I had a gentleman who came in to see me, and he had Parkinson's. And, he came in for low back pain. That's why he came in the office. And we start working on him, removing the subluxations, helping his body to heal the best it can. And all of a sudden, we start looking at him, and he's able to smile again. Because one of the things with Parkinson's is they get the stone face and the inability to smile. So his wife is like, this is awesome. I'm getting my husband back. He's doing great. And he goes back, after it was about a year and a half, he went back to his neurologist. And after having Parkinson's for 8 years, said based on the way he was walking and talking, you couldn't tell he had Parkinson's anymore. So that was absolutely amazing. And to see that. And what was really funny is I had to maintenance. So he was only coming in once or twice a month at that point, just to keep him in good shape. And he's like, well, if I'm doing this great at once a month, twice a month, I'm coming in every week again. So it was wonderful to see that difference. And I'm not saying that Parkinson's goes away for everybody, because I've got people with Parkinson's that still have it, but they are doing better. They walk in straighter, they walk in better, they don't shake as much. And it's just really easy. It's interesting to see that progression. And I tell people, we don't heal anything. We just help your body to heal the best that it possibly can. And that's where I just love my job. I love coming to work every day. This year is 25 years of being a chiropractor, and I I love being at my work. I love being here. And I can't imagine ever retiring because yeah, nothing could be as more fun than being in a chiropractic office, adjusting people and changing lives every single day. This is awesome.
It
I love my
shows.
job.
And your energy is so contagious. I absolutely love it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that story. And wow, what a difference for that person's life and the family and the friends that he's able to touch because of it. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course. It's always such an honor to have people from out of state join us for our Georgia calls, because it really, we are so connected as chiropractors with so many other chiropractors around the world that when we share these messages and share each other's stories, it just inspires us to just do so much more. And really, I think it helps us connect to our why. Why do we do what we do, and how can we do it better on a day-to-day basis so that we could serve more people?
100%. If any of you guys are ever in Wallingford, Connecticut, please come by, say hi. I'd love to spend the afternoon with you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. And I'm going to shift gears a little bit, because when it comes to connecting to our why and why we do what we do, I would be remiss if I did not mention that, recently our profession lost one of the greats. And of course, that's Dr. Chuck River Ribley. He recently passed away, and tomorrow at Life University, they are doing a special assembly to honor his life. That's at 11 a.m., typical assembly time, Thursdays at 11. And if you're not able to attend, or you haven't already confirmed that you're attending, because they are going to run out of space, I'm sure, they are going to live stream it. We will drop the information down in the comments later on of how you can watch that live stream, but I'm sure you can go to any one of the Life University social media pages to find out that information. But that's tomorrow at 11 a.m. And they're also going to be doing a ribbon cutting tomorrow evening to honor him for one of the new buildings that they have renamed in his honor, which was a process that was already ongoing. So it's nice to know that he's going to be honored in that way, and the family will all, of course, be there. So if you're in the Atlanta area, if you're near Marietta and you're able to come by for either the assembly or the ribbon cutting, just reach out to us, reach out to Life University, and we'll have the information in the comments section below. But I wanted to make sure that we got that out there and make sure that people know that that is happening, as well as letting you know what's happening as far as the GCC is concerned. So this past weekend, we did just have one of our summer CEs. It was a huge success. A lot of doctors were there. Everybody is talking about how great of an event it was. So thank you to everyone that attended and that participated, as well as thank you to all of our speakers. But coming up, we've got DE, not this weekend, but the following weekend. DE will be in Atlanta. Are you coming, Dr. Tracy?
Oh, yeah. Won't miss it.
Good. I'm going to grab a big hug from you when I see you there. We've got DE coming up. Of course, it's at the Atlanta Marriott Northwest. Same location right there over by the Battery. That's July 27th through the 30th. If you haven't registered yet, go to lifede.com to get registered for that. And then once we finish up with that event, we get into August, which means we've got more summer CE events coming up. So we'll be down in Warner Robins. We'll be down in Augusta. You've got the dates coming across the bottom of the screen right there. But big push. Got to let you know, we have our annual Chiro Cup coming up. That is our golf tournament. It's coming up on October 19th at Bridge Mill. We raise a lot of money for a lot of good causes for that, to help with chiropractic research. We help with, in the past, the Davis Foundation, to help people that are getting off of the opioids. So a lot of good stuff, but it's a great time. If you have a business and you want to sponsor, let us know right away. Get in touch with us at chirocup.com or georgiachiropractic.org. If you want to set up your foursome and you want to play, let us know. We're getting sponsors and players registered now. So you can use that QR code right there, or go to our website. And then, of course, we've got the rest of our events throughout the remainder of the year, and our holiday party coming up in December. So lots of great events for GCC. I know we've got a philosophy event tucked in there somewhere. We'll let you know what the dates are for that. But other than that, we look forward to seeing you at one of our live events, or at DE, where we'll see Dr. Tracy and a lot of our other docs that have been coming on as guests of our show. So we look forward to seeing you. So Dr. Tracy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Everybody, we'll see you next week. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow at Assembly in honor of Dr. Chuck River Ribley. Bye-bye.